Hey everyone, welcome back to yet another video and thank you for watching. So today I am showing you guys how to get this look right here. This is just kind of like if you're running out of the door, if you're kind of getting up late like I usually am, which is kind of how this look was created. If you're just going to a business meeting, anything that you're going to that you're running late on, this is kind of something that kind of freshens up your face a little bit, livens it up, and just kind of makes you look like you didn't just roll out of bed. I have been wearing this look pretty much every single day that I'm not on camera, and that's just because I like my sleep. I feel like now that I'm on Florida time, which is the same time as it is back home, but now that I'm kind of on that beachy time, I just feel as if I have no concept of time. I get up at 7 o'clock knowing I have to leave at 8 for work, and it takes me a little bit more than an hour to get ready. So it's kind of just, you know, something that I kind of created that makes my face look a little bit more livened up. It doesn't look too clogged with makeup, but it doesn't also look like I just rolled out of bed. So if you guys are looking for a look that's like this, then please keep watching. So we're going to go ahead and prime our face with the Smashbox Photo Finish Primer. And this was actually in that sample thing in that sample box that I think I showed you guys like a few videos back. It was quite a while ago. And I just bought the actual version of it the other day when I went to Sephora. But I just wanted to use this baby first. Use the rest of it. Alright, so we just rub this baby in. Since that one's a little more oily, I'm going to go ahead and let that kind of set in my face before I just go ahead and put my BB cream on it. So we are going to go in and go ahead and do our brows. I'm going to be picking up my favorite Anastasia brow definer. And I'm going to go super lightly. We're not going to go super bold because this is such a natural look. We're just going to make it kind of look as natural as we can. So I'm not pressing too hard, I'm just keeping it very lightly, and I just kind of want to shape out those edges. You really just want to darken them, especially when you're doing a look that's this natural. You just want to kind of keep it very natural looking. I'm really just filling them in. And then if you feel as if you've made your points just a little too dark, you can just kind of go in with your little brush, which is at the other end, and you can just kind of brush those tips away, which will blend it and make it a little smoother. Just the same concept with the second one, you're just going to kind of brush it out. So then once our brows are done and they look super natural and they look a little more filled in and they're darker and they're bolder and they just look bam, we're going to go in with our L'Oreal BB cream. So with this look, I haven't been wearing actual foundation with it, and that's just because here in Florida I've been going to like the beach, or I'm going to the pool, or you know, so if I'm not going to the office where I am doing a little bit more bolder makeup, I'm going to do something like that, or I'm running an errand, or you know, I'm sweating my ass off somewhere out in Florida. So BB cream has kind of just helped a little bit to kind of keep it more, to kind of keep my face look a little bit more fresh, and it kind of looks a little bit more natural than the foundation would. So we're gonna go in with this. And I think that my favorite thing about this L'Oreal BB cream is the fact that it comes out and it's white, but when it like you rub it in and it goes on your face, it turns dark. So I don't use an actual brush for this, and I found that the brush doesn't actually kind of help it blend well. So what I'll do is I'll put it on with my fingers and I just kind of like blend it in, and then I'll take a beauty blender. So I just grab it on my fingers like this and I just start to pat it and blend it. So it kind of looks like a gulp of sunscreen is going on my face, but once you start blending it out, it becomes this super pretty natural shade. So I don't use any brushes with this, and that's just because you kind of have to work at it a little bit. It's kind of like a moisturizer. You have to kind of rub it in and, you know, make sure that everything goes on correctly, so you can't really blend it well with a brush. I think the best thing about this is the fact that it is a drugstore brand, so it is super nice because it's inexpensive. So I think that this whole tube right here was like $9.99, and a little bit goes a long way, which is great. And I like it because, like I said, it's a super natural look. It does not cost much. It seriously, I feel like it stays on a little longer than my actual foundation does, and I think that that's just because it might not actually stay on longer, but it makes my skin look fresh longer because it gives that more natural look. I swear that my little baby hairs up here are like permanently orange because there's always foundation or something in them. And I treat this just like I would foundation. I do stick it down on my neck to kind of create that seamless line. And I just rub it in swirls to kind of get all the color to come out. And I do this extremely gently because it is on my neck. So I just want to make sure that we're not creating any more lines that we don't need. We definitely don't need any more lines down there. Okay, so then once we kind of made our face feel a little bit more alive and a little bit more natural looking, I'm going to go in with my Trish McAvoy, and this is the eye base, and I'm putting this on before I'm doing the rest of my face just because this doesn't take a long time to dry, but I don't like to kind of smack on any type of eyeshadow or mascara or eyeliner onto it just because it kind of makes it feel a little goopy. So I'm just going to kind of put this on and let that dry. So this kind of comes in a stick like this. It looks like a concealer. But the nice thing about this is that it does act as a 2-in-1. It acts as a primer, but it also acts as like a color base for your eye. So as you guys can see, my eye color, I don't know if you guys can see it on here, but I can see it. But my eye color, since I don't put foundation or BB cream on my eyes, is a little bit more red and, you know, kind of light colored compared to my actual face. So this is going to kind of even that out. So I just kind of stick it on all over my lid as well as underneath my eyebrow, and you don't need much. It's not, you know, it's not like a crazy gulp. And then I just take my ring finger and I just lightly pat it. Since it is on my eye, I'm not gonna rub it. I just lightly pat it until everything is kind of evened out. And this does dry to your skin, so you want to kind of get it rubbed in and smoothed out as quickly as you can, because if you don't, it's gonna leave all those smears and you're gonna end up putting twice as much on your eye than you would have in the first place because the first time it dried. So we're just gonna want to be sure of that. And then see that kind of, it's not even fully dry yet and you're already kind of seeing a little bit of the color kind of coming back to your eyes. So then we're going to go in with a little bit of concealer, and this is the Maybelline Fit Me concealer in the color Light. We're just going to add just a tiny bit. We're not going to do too much just because we're going natural, so we're not trying to hide anything today. So I do a little underneath my eyes, a little on the bridge of my nose, and a little on my Cupid's bow, as well as a little bit on my chin. And then I just take my beauty blender and lightly press that in. It just gives the lightest amount of highlight to your face. Since this is a more natural look, we're not going to cream contour, so I'm just going to kind of add a little bit of powder to my face. and then call it a day. So then I'm gonna grab my contour and blush palette by BH Cosmetics, a little fluffy brush, and we're just gonna dabble into this color here for a little bit of bronzer. And since this is a more natural look, we just kind of want it to kind of fade super nicely into our face and into our hairline. We don't want it to kind of be like, boom, she's got bronzer on. It just kind of wants to make a little bit of shape and depth into our face and a little bit of darkness and just a little bit of, you know, she's got some sun to her. So to achieve that, I'm just kind of lightly pressing circles onto my skin and starting from the bottom and working my way to the top towards my hairline. And that's the thing about bronzer, guys, is I know that like in bolder looks, you can definitely get away with bronzer to be a little bit more showy and a little bit more depth-like, but you really don't need a whole lot. Just enough to kind of give your face a little bit of sun and make it look a little more woken up. And then I add a little bit on my neck just to kind of give a little sun to that area too. Now that our eye base has dried a little bit more, I am going to go in with a little bit of mascara, and this is my Gifted Mascara by Tarte. We're just going to put on some mascara. And a lot of people have asked why I don't curl my lashes with the lash curler, and that's because I had an extremely traumatic eyelash event with that. I seriously took the eyelash curler. I was maybe, I don't know, 8 or 9, so I clearly had no idea what I was doing, but I took the eyelash curler and tried to curl my lashes, but I did it when my mascara was already on. So I think that the mascara kind of acted as glue, and I, you know, pressed it down as tight as I could, and I pulled it back up. And when I pulled it up, every single one of my lashes were stuck to the lash curler, and I started crying. My entire eye hurt. My head started hurting. I seriously had like green goop coming out of my eye for like a week. It was the most horrible eye experience I think I have ever witnessed or ever had, and I just won't mess with them anymore. It took me probably 6 to 8 months for my lashes to actually start growing back. And when I was a kid, my lashes weren't like extremely long, but they were much longer, noticeably longer than they are now. And it makes me so sad because I have to wear fake eyelashes pretty much everywhere I go. When I was a kid, it was not like, clearly it was not like that because I was like 8 or 9, but it was not like that, and it makes me so upset because I used to have long eyelashes and I don't anymore. So I don't use that any longer. And just pop a little bit on your bottom lash. See, and my bottom lashes are always much longer than my top, and I think that that's because those ones were never ripped off. I blame the lash curler. I don't blame myself. I totally blame myself, don't let me fool you. So, like I said in a previous video, I'm not one to really wear a lot of blush, but for those of you that do, I am going to kind of go in and put on some blush. So I'm going to grab this pink shade here, and since it is extremely pigmented, I'm not going to grab that much. I just grabbed a small itsy bitsy bit, and these are just going to go on the apples of your cheeks, so you're just going to kind of give a little smile. And add it on. And then I'm just going to take another fluffy brush and I'm just going to kind of even it out, just so it's not so prominent. And that just kind of adds like a little bit of a fleshy color. It just kind of gives some color to your cheeks and makes it a little bit more natural, like little girl-like, like little porcelain doll-like. We're gonna go in and go ahead and add some highlight, and I am gonna be using my Lumi True Match highlight by L'Oreal, and this is in the color of Ice. Ice. So what I like so much about these is that it just comes out and it's super bright, and it just goes on so naturally, and it's so easy to kind of rub in and get it to where you want it. So it goes on and it's kind of standout-ish, and you know, you've got this like very serious little C boomerang thing. And, you know, but once you kind of blend it in and you rub it into your skin a little bit more, it just becomes extremely luminous. And with a wet highlighter, or really wet anything, I always put it on with a finger and then rub it in with a makeup brush or a beauty blender, because if you just kind of dabble it in with a makeup brush or a beauty blender, it's going to get all over the place and you're not really going to have a lot of control over where it lays. And then I'm just going to add some to my chin and kind of just rub that in with my with my ring finger. Put a little on my nose. And then add the tiniest bit to my Cupid's bow. So now we are glowing, and we are glowing all over. And I think that that's kind of the secret to the, you know, more natural looking look, is the highlight. And I know that sounds super funny, but you got to think about it. Like, if you're out in the sun is going to hit you no matter what. So why not add just a little something to kind of make it pop a little bit more? So even if I don't wear any of this to like a beach day or a pool day, I definitely put on a highlighter, and that's just because it's going to kind of catch the light a little bit more, and it's going to kind of bounce off. And then instead of using some kind of like matte lip or something, I'm just going to go in with my oldie but goodie Neosporin Overnight. This is the, this is my favorite chapstick, and this is just going to kind of make your lips look a little juicy. I'm one that kind of goes a little overboard with chapstick, but that's okay. And for our last step, we are going to go in with my Smashbox water primer and just kind of give ourselves a good spray. Well guys, we are finished. So this look is just super simple, and I know that it took me a little longer probably in this video because I'm sitting here and I'm chatting with you guys and I'm kind of telling you how to do this look and what I do pretty much on a daily basis. But you know, when you're sitting down and you're by yourself and you're in your room and you're in your zone and you're doing your shit, it's probably going to take you any more than about 10-15 minutes, because you are by yourself and you're just going to kind of, you know, not work your way through it by telling other people how to do it or something like that. So it really doesn't take that long, and it's very feminine, it's very chic, and it's very something that's going to kind of liven up your face and make you feel a little bit more, I don't know, like beach goddess or something like that. So well, if you guys liked this video, don't forget to thumbs up and subscribe in the subscription box below, and until next time.